Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live show and your daily Chelsea news update, people. And another day and more Conor Gallagher briefs. Seems like one round of briefs wasn't enough this week. A second round of briefs has dropped this afternoon. Chelsea have reportedly told Conor Gallagher that if he stays, he will only be a squad player, which is why he's only been offered a 2+1 deal, because there are concerns over offering him more due to him fitting in under Enzo Maresca's system. We're going to dive into all the latest stuff there. We're going to dive into, obviously, Andre Santos has gone back to Strasbourg on loan. We're going to dive into the outgoings at Chelsea as well and how much work there is to do and perhaps why it's seemingly been so slow. But again, the main stuff is the Conor Gallagher stuff. And I think at some point soon, things are going to come to a head. You know, the Atletico Madrid offer is on the table. They are just waiting for him to decide. And then we go from there. And then we go from there and we basically see what happens. But ultimately, Gallagher holds all the cards at the end of the day. He's under contract. If he wants to stay, he stays. If he decides that he wants to go, then he goes to Atletico Madrid. But you know, the club can't force him out. The ball is entirely in his court. And this second round of briefs is them realizing, oh, the first round of briefs has gone down like a sack of shit. So we better put something else out there now that, you know, maybe makes us come across in a slightly better way. Try and save face a little bit here, because that's what this football club likes to do at the moment, is not take any responsibility for unpopular decisions, try and put all the blame onto the player just to try and save face. That's what it's all about for them, protecting their image. It's not about doing the right thing. All they care about is protecting their own image. And if that means chucking players under the bus and turning fans against players, then they are more than happy to do that. And we have seen how Chelsea treat players under this ownership. We've seen it with Trevor Chalobah, you know, so nothing should come at a surprise whatsoever. But big up to everyone that's locked in, by the way, people. Keep smashing the likes. Subscribe if you're new around here and all that good stuff. You lot know exactly what to do. And let's talk Conor Gallagher. Let's dive into it, guys. Let's have a look at the next round of briefs. Not long ago come out either. This is from Ben Jacobs, you know, nicely summed up. Big up to Ben, great guy. Chelsea have told Conor Gallagher he will only be a squad player if he stays at the club. For what it's worth, I've got absolutely no issue with that. I've said that he shouldn't really be a starter in this team, but absolutely a squad player. It's why Chelsea only offered Gallagher a 2+1, which was rejected on Wednesday and in June. Fine. But my point here is, right, squad player, okay, but all the players that Chelsea have signed, why have they all been signed on 6-7 year contracts when they are not all first team players? So how can you say, oh, we've offered him a 3-year contract basically because he's a squad player, but everyone else who's signing 7-year contracts, none of those guys are squad players, are they? They're all first teamers? No, of course they're of course they're not all first teamers. Like, if you're going to offer him a 3-year contract, say why you're doing it. Don't bullshit you're offering a 3-year contract because you see him as a squad player. Every single player that's signed for Chelsea is signing on 6-7 year contracts. They aren't all first teamers. A number of those are squad players, and a number of those are hardly ever going to play for the football club. So why have they not been offered 2 or 3 year contracts to represent their status as squad players? It's just utter drivel coming from the football club yet again. Make a decision and own it. Don't make a decision that's unpopular and then try and save face by briefing and trying to turn fans against the player. You know, it's very transparent and people can see right through it for exactly what it is. But let's carry on with this. There are concerns Enzo Maresca's high possession system might not suit Gallagher and he may not get as many starts as last season. No one's expecting Conor Gallagher to play 50 or 51 games again this season. But what I would say, and I think it's fair to say, yes, of course, you know, there might be concerns that Gallagher maybe doesn't suit the system. But how have you come to that conclusion when he's not even had one training session with Enzo Maresca? You know, a new manager should be a new opportunity for everyone to show their worth and a clean slate for everyone. So how can we How can you come to a conclusion, having not even done one training session under Enzo Maresca, that he is not right for the system and that he couldn't possibly adapt to it, and they've made their mind up already without even seeing him work under him. It's a strange one, that. Anyway, let's carry on. Chelsea believe it would be a mistake in football and financial terms to offer Gallagher a long-term contract, and doing so could jeopardise his England chances for the 26 World Cup. Look at them now trying to be like, oh, you shouldn't stay because, we want you to get to the World Cup with England, and I don't give a fuck. Atletico Madrid's offer remains on the table. Understand they want an answer from Gallagher by Monday. So, yeah, the weekend is going to be where we get the news on Gallagher, I would say, in regards to whether he's going to take this contract offer or not. But that is, compared to the first round of briefs, right? That is a much more fairer and balanced way of putting things rather than trying to turn fans against the player. Fair enough. If those are your reasons, whether you think those reasons are right or wrong, that there in itself is okay. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. My issue with it is that it's just a load of bollocks, because, you can't tell me you're only offering a 3-year contract because you think he's going to be a squad player, when you're signing every teenager under the sun on massive contracts who full well aren't going to be first teamers. So yeah, let's move on from that Ben Jacobs bit. There was more here. Fabrizio Romano adding decision time for Conor Gallagher as Atletico are waiting, while his career at Chelsea looks to be almost over. We've done that, and then this from Carve Solokol over at Sky. He's added quite a lot of details here as well. Big up to everyone in the chat, by the way. I will get to the chat in a sec. Let me just go through a few more bits. Guys, we're 65 in the building. Keep smashing that like button. Only 20 likes. Let's run it up. It's a poor conversion rate so far, so keep smashing that like button, people. Would greatly appreciate it. And please keep subscribing to the channel as well. So yeah, right. So we've got Conor Gallagher's Chelsea career looks like it could be over after he was told he will be a squad player under the new style of play. Atletico Madrid remain keen to sign him, and it is now decision time for the player. Gallagher's contract runs out next summer, and he's turned down offers of a new Chelsea deal. The latest offer this week was a 3-year deal, 2+1, because Chelsea were concerned he would probably be a squad player in the new high possession style they're committed to playing under Enzo Maresca. Chelsea respect the fact he's an England international who needs to be a regular starter. A longer contract could have tied him up as a squad player and jeopardise his place in future England squads. It could also have had financial implications for Chelsea, so it was felt that it would have been a mistake for both parties to commit to a longer-term deal. So now apparently he's been offered 3 improved contracts. So an extra contract rejection has now come out of the woodwork in autumn 22, June 24, and July 24. But we need to dive into why Gallagher's been offered these contracts. It's not because they want him to stay. It's because they're trying to protect his value, and they don't want him to. They don't want him to leave on a free. So this is not like, oh, we believe in you, we want you to stay. We like you. This is a shit. We could lose this guy on a free. Let's offer him a short-term contract, tie us over, buy us a bit more time to find any more suitors, protect the value of the player by adding a couple more years onto the contract, and then we will revisit the situation next summer. You're not going to be feeling wanted to sign a new contract, are you? When you know that it's just basically buying the club a bit more time to sell him. What are you lot saying in the chat? There's loads to go in through here. Whatever anyone feels, Gallagher's been shown he's not wanted. He should just make the move for the sake of his career. Right now, Atleti is levels above us. Ultimately, though, if I'm Gallagher, I'm thinking, well, maybe I just stay, don't sign a contract, and I'll just leave on a free where I can literally go wherever I want to go. Because a lot more clubs will become interested in Conor Gallagher if he's available for free. 100% they will. Is there a reason Gallagher can't take the hint? It's so obvious they're about to freeze him out. He needs to have dignity and go and join Atletico. Look, he wants to stay at Chelsea. Never once has he said that he wants to leave the football club. And he's well within his rights to stay. They are doing the same to Conor that they did to Mason. Easy to see now. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I don't know the full ins and outs of the Mount situation and what happened, but there are seemingly a number of parallels between the two scenarios with the more information that's coming out. Agreed. As I said yesterday, if you compare Gallagher to the midfielders of the top 16, Gallagher fares quite well. Winstanley's desperate to be a squad player because you will raise and the golden child will sink. Injuries will open the door. I think Gallagher will probably play quite a lot next season. Gallagher's basically gone. They freeze him out. He needs dignity. Don't stay where you're not welcome. At the end of the day, though, he's under contract. So being under contract, you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to stay, you stay. That's how it works. It's their prerogative to give contract lengths to anyone they see fit. How else do they want to let him know they don't rate him? They've been trying to sell him forever. They have been trying to sell him forever. And my issue is that don't brief that you're offering a short-term deal because you see him as a squad player. It's bollocks. You're offering a short-term deal because you're trying to protect the value. This is my point, is that just come out and be honest and own the decisions that you're making, no matter how unpopular they might be amongst the fan base. Make a decision and stick with it. Don't come out with this nonsense that, we only offered him a short-term deal because we're worried that he's only going to be a squad player. You've offered 6-7 year deals to players that won't even get anywhere near the fucking first team. So yeah, it just stinks, in my view. Personally, I like Gallagher, but only as a squad player. The question is, will he be willing to start on the bench? I think he will be willing to start on the bench. Also, if given a huge contract, which club would take him on such wages? Gallagher's not going to be on a huge contract, guys. He's not going to be on a huge contract. Not at all. At the moment, I think he's on about 50 or 60k a week at Chelsea. This new contract would probably put him around 120, in the 120 to the 150 range, which would be respectable and deservedly so based on his performances last season. But yeah, let's move away from that. There's an interesting article from The Athletic as well, guys, on this, suggesting this here. So Chelsea made a pitch to Gallagher that if he signed the deal and continued to improve and became a starter, he could put himself in a strong position to return to the negotiation table and secure a longer contract in his higher salary range. Do you know how shameless and how embarrassing it is to put these sorts of things out? If you do well, then you can have a longer term contract. So if that's the case, why is everybody that's signed not signing a sort of a 2 or 3 year deal, proving themselves, and then being rewarded with a longer term contract? Why is everyone just signing 6-7 year deals straight off the bat? So why is it, you're going to be a squad player, so sign a shorter term deal, prove yourself, and you might be able to earn a longer term contract? Why is that not the same for everyone? Why is that seemingly only for Gallagher, this specific instance, that, sign this, and then if you play and you get yourself back into the team, we'll revisit it and you might be able to get a longer term deal? It's just bollocks. It's just utter bollocks. I'm sorry. It really is. It's taking the piss. It's mocking. Is what it is. Do well, and then we might give you a longer term contract. You might have earned that right. But if you're some random 18, 19-year-old coming in, you probably won't see the light of day at Chelsea. But here's a fat 6-7 year contract for you for no fucking reason whatsoever. So we pretend that these people leaking this stuff weren't told directly by someone. Yeah, of course they were. This has all come from the club. This is all information that the club want out in the public sphere. They were right. Look, what I also don't like is how public this has become. I get it that transfers, are public, in this day and age. But why has this become so public? Why is there just constant brief after brief after brief? Don't try and get supporters to turn against Gallagher. Don't do that. Absolutely do not do that, because it's not fair and it's not the right thing to do. I hope Gallagher shows these clown owners and directors a big middle finger. They won't be happy until all the soul is stripped out of this club. They are performance-based incentives. Now that I think of it, Wesley Fofana was right to go public with Enzo. Clearlake have been leaking all our private transfer dealings. I mean, look, some of the stuff like this for me, how public this is very unnecessary. It's very unnecessary how public it is. That doesn't sit well with me because what they're doing here, they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to turn people against the player. That's exactly what they're doing. He's going to stay and leave as a free agent next summer. Let's be honest, he doesn't get into our midfield, cash in for profit to enable player sales. It makes sense. Sure, but if the player doesn't want to leave, you're fucked. And I'm starting to lean towards the idea that he's going to leave on a free next summer. That's what I'm. That's what I'm having. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think he's going to sign a new contract. I think he'll end up sticking about. Whatever happens, and he'll just leave on a free transfer next summer. And then Chelsea, having been desperate to get this pure profit, won't be getting any fucking profit whatsoever for him. That's what I think is most likely right now. All club briefings, PR spinning BS, so they don't look like massive shameless prats. I agree with you. Why? Well, because the fans showed they wanted Gallagher to stay with the banner. Win Stanley has treated Chelsea fans with contempt. I mean, I don't know if this is a Win Stanley decision. I don't rate Gallagher. He's not the type of player that warrants the uproar. That being said, this shows the handling of this issue is awful. Yeah, and this is my point, and this is well said by Adrian here, is that I'd like Conor Gallagher to stay. I think there's a place for him in the squad. However, if Chelsea don't deem him as part of the plans and don't think he suits the system, I haven't got a problem with that. Look to sell him. Okay. And if Gallagher doesn't want to go, I haven't got an issue with him running his contract down because he's entitled to do that. My issue with it is, as you say here, is that the handling of the situation has been fucking dreadful. The handling of it has been really, really poor. Putting out briefs to try and turn fans against him, trying to save face, and make Gallagher out to be the bad guy. That's why I'm not happy with this. I've got no side in this Gallagher stuff. I'm not, in love with the academy like some people are to a degree that some people are. But like the way that this has been handled is nothing but unacceptable. Be careful what you wish for. Gallagher sticking it to the owners and club means he's sticking it to us as well. I'm not a Gallagher fan. I'm a Chelsea fan. Chelsea comes first. Yeah, of course. I just don't get all the negative comments on Conor. If you don't rate him, then surely they don't rate the guys he outperformed last season. Mate, he was our best midfielder last season, performance-wise. Not in terms of talent or ability, but in terms of performance levels. Yes, Caicedo massively improved over the second half of the season. But if you're looking at last season as a whole, it's not disingenuous to say that Conor Gallagher was our best performing midfielder last season. His performance was kind of similar to that of Willian, consistent, works his arse off and chips in with tackles, goals, assists. Yet you guys, yeah, bro, I hear this. You know what's mad, right? You don't have to like every player. You don't have to think that every player is good. But why are there so many people in this fan base that actively, like with disdain, actually dislike Conor Gallagher? Like literally have a hatred towards a player that's given absolutely everything to this football club for his entire life. Why? Why is there such an active hate? I just can't get my head around it. I cannot get my head around it. But let's dive into this article from The Athletic and see what information's been. As he walked with his Chelsea teammates on a lap, we don't need that intro. Move to Atletico Madrid on a deal worth 40 million euros is becoming the likeliest outcome, one that would bring to a close 18 months in which Gallagher's future at Chelsea has been the source of endless uncertainty. Throughout the summer, the message coming out of Stamford Bridge was that two very different options remained open for Gallagher. Could sign a new contract or be sold. Allowing him to go into the final year of his existing deal and reach free agency next summer was one scenario that the ownership were unwilling to countenance. So the revelation that Gallagher twice turned down the offer of a new contract at Chelsea, once in June and again in July, against the backdrop of interest from Atletico, landed with a jolt, undercutting the notion that the Cobham graduate wanted nothing more than to keep playing for his boyhood club. It's also an incomplete picture of a more nuanced, complicated reality. To tell the fuller story, The Athletic gathered information from various individuals involved in the Gallagher saga, all of who spoke anonymously in order to protect relationships. Chelsea offered Gallagher the same contract twice, 2 years guaranteed by a club option to extend for a third. on a vastly increased salary than the previous deal he had signed as a 21-year-old back in 2020. His new wages would, according to those with knowledge of the club's pay scale, have pushed him up into the same range as top midfield owners Enzo and Caicedo. On the first occasion, Chelsea tabled a formal contract offer in early June after Gallagher had indicated he didn't want to join Aston Villa, who had expressed serious interest in signing him. The second time around, as talks with Atletico intensified, club officials checked in with the England international's camp to see if he was prepared to reconsider the same terms. So he's actually not rejected 2 contract offers. He's turned down the same contract twice. So let's not run this bullshit. Oh, he's rejected 2 contract offers. They just re-offered. The. Oh yeah, great. Here we go. And here it comes, guys. Here it fucking comes. Yep, like clockwork, here it is. Chelsea have banished Conor Gallagher from the first team squad. Chelsea have informed Gallagher he will not be training with the first team when the squad return from America. Right, there we go. There we go. So much for the, oh, if you prove yourself, you'll be offered a new, you might be able to, if you prove yourself, sign this 3-year deal. And if you prove yourself, then you might be able to get a long-term contract. But a couple of hours later, bash, Gallagher banished from the first team squad. So yeah, so much for so much for that. So much for that. The PR machine is fully in the mud. What is this monstrosity here? Like, it's embarrassing at this point. Absolutely embarrassing. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, this. Have banished Conor Gallagher from first team training from Monday onwards. Yeah, crazy. It's wrong when they did it to Malang Sarr. Whatever you think of Romelu Lukaku, it was wrong to do it to him as well. And now it's wrong in this instance as well. It's mad. It's mad, guys. Let me just change the title. Let me just change the title, people. Chelsea banish Conor Gallagher. What are we looking at here? Chelsea banish, bear with me a second, guys. Banish Conor Gallagher from first team training. Yeah, it didn't take long, did it? Didn't take long. He's in fairness, Alex Crook has got a lot better. Has got a lot better. It's mad. It's mad. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy, isn't it? It just makes a mockery of what they've just put out there. You'll be a squad player, they said. Yeah, you'll be a squad player, they said. A squad player, yeah, of course. It's incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Classless institution. Is this source reliable? No, it is. It is, in fairness. And in fairness to Pice, he only posts stuff that has some level of reliability to it. So yeah, that is it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. It's not surprising at all, but it's still crazy. It's mad. It's a contract. This is such a poor way to treat players. Such a poor way. Contracted player, captain the side for the majority of last season, banished from the first team squad because he wants to stay at the football club. We're genuinely classless and have got zero shame whatsoever. This is, and people wonder why, Chelsea has got this sort of reputation, banishing players out of the first team. If you don't do as we say, we're just going to fuck you off. That's basically what they're saying. That is exactly what they're saying. It's like, if we don't get this £33 million for you, that we're so desperate to sign another couple of 16-year-olds from South America who are never going to play for this fucking football club, you're going to be frozen out. You're going to be frozen out and banished from proceedings. It's utter shameful bollocks. Shameful bollocks. Fuck everyone. This football club has got zero shame at all. Zero shame whatsoever. This football club. But I thought it was going to be a squad player though, guys, wasn't he? He was going to be a squad player. Yeah, guys, he's going to be a squad player. Don't worry about it. I mean, yeah, look, this is hardly surprising. It's exactly what they're going to do to Trevor. It's exactly what they're going to do to Trevor Chalobah as well. Yeah, I mean, look, what Chelsea are basically saying here is that you either leave or you sign the contract or you sign that short-term contract. Otherwise, you're going to be banished for a year in the reserves. You know exactly what Chelsea are doing here. No, it's not about who the player is. I don't care who the player is. You don't treat players like this. You don't treat players like this. It's not the way that you get business done. It's not a good way of operating. It's not a good way of operating. Like this idea that people think that Gallagher is not good enough to be at Chelsea Football Club is laughable. It really is. I've maintained the whole time. I don't think Conor Gallagher should be a starter week in, week out for Chelsea. But to suggest that he doesn't have a role to play in the squad is quite something. But what I would also say, guys, is also quite something. There's 131 in the building. There's only 45 likes. People, keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do so. So keep running it up. We're only on 45 likes, which is piss poor, guys. Come on. Raise the likes up. Would greatly appreciate it. And please keep subscribing to the channel as well if you are new round here. But these likes are too low, guys. So please do keep subscribing to the channel. It's free. It takes seconds. And yeah, I would greatly appreciate it. So please, please keep running the likes up, guys. Would greatly appreciate it. So yeah, here we go. Let's have a look. Bro, the guy will probably want to leave on a free, so he's got more options, He might not want to move to Atletico Madrid. He might not want to up sticks and go and live in another country. I could understand exactly why he would want to leave on a free, because then he'd have so many more options and can join on his terms rather than being, forced into maybe taking a move that he doesn't want to take. What else have we got going on here? That's fine. You shouldn't ever force players out. That's just my opinion. But you shouldn't ever force players out. There's a way of conducting yourself. There's a way of acting, and there's a way of getting business done. And what Chelsea are doing is completely and utterly shameless. Utterly shameless. I haven't got an issue with the club wanting to sell players, but it's about treating long-serving players, staff, with respect and dignity that they deserve. And Chelsea are just shitting all over Gallagher, like they're going to shit over Chalobah, like they've shitted over multiple long-serving members of backroom staff as well. These guys are shameless, and I'm sorry, this ownership are totally classless when it comes to dealing with these things. Totally and utterly classless. And nothing will change my mind on that front. Nothing whatsoever will change my mind on that front, because there are far too many examples of it. Far too many examples of it. So I will praise where praise is due, and criticize where it's due. And look, at the end of the day, if Gallagher goes, I don't have an issue with it. I think he should personally stay. That's my opinion. But there is a way of doing things, whether you're Conor Gallagher, whether you're Chalobah, whether you're whoever you fucking are. Like, I don't really care, to be honest. You know, it's up to him. It's up to him at the end of the day. Sorry, bro. Let me go now. Owners aren't just classless, but clueless for not placing more importance on unquantifiables like players who love the club. Yeah, this is it. No one's saying Gallagher's a world beater. No one's saying that Conor Gallagher should start every single game for Chelsea week in, week out. No one's saying he's like one of our best midfielders or whatever. But there is a place for him in the squad. And as you say, there are some things that money can't buy. Love for the club. And these sorts of things, you know, the fact that he gives 100% in every single game. And this is not just about Conor Gallagher. This is a wider issue about how Chelsea treat players. You know, and I can guarantee, right, people saying, oh, you know, it's just business, or this is the real world or whatever. Wait. I can guarantee that your opinions would be very, very different if it was a player that you liked. Let's, for example, imagine this was a Lavia, or this was a Cole Palmer, or this was a Nicholas Jackson or whatever. In a hypothetical situation, we're in the same thing, then your opinions will be very, very different. People are basing their opinions not on logical thinking. They're just basing it on their opinions of the player. They think it's fine because they don't like the player and they don't think he's good enough for the football club. That's, at the end of the day, what is happening here. You know, and look, I don't follow every single other football club. I don't follow every single football club closely, but I struggle to imagine there's many clubs that offer you don't have to go. You're under contract. You know, you've got a legal right to be at a football club. If Gallagher wants to stay at Chelsea, then he's well within his rights to stay at Chelsea because he's under contract. So, you know, this is what I mean. Like, you can try and force players out, but the players hold all the power. They're under contract. And he can do as he wishes. If he wants to stay, he will stay. You know, Chelsea are obviously trying to do everything they possibly can to make him leave the football club because they're desperate for £33 million to spunk on a couple of 15-year-olds. But, you know, he will do what he thinks is right for him. And if he wants to stay, and if he thinks that, you know, I'll stay at the football club and maybe I won't play football for a year and then I'll go on a free and whatnot, I think people are missing the point on this. Is not about the quality of the player. This is about how you treat people. You know, this is about how you treat people. This is not about, you know, whether people think he's good enough or not. But it's about how you treat people. And Chelsea, I'm sorry, under this ownership, have got a track record of treating long-serving players and members of staff with disdain and like they're a piece of shit on their shoe. That's what the football club is doing right now under this ownership. You know, and that's not me being anti-American or hating on these guys. You know, that's me just saying it how it is. Whether this ownership was English, French, Brazilian, whatever fucking nationality. uh, he's good enough to be a squad player at Chelsea. You know, it really baffles me how people actually how there's so much hate from Chelsea fans or supposed Chelsea fans for one of their own. You know, it's fine not to rate a player. It's fine not to think about. It's fine not to think about. Uh, it's fine not to think he's good enough or whatever. Why is there so much hate from Chelsea fans for one of their own? I just don't understand how you can actively hate someone so much and want them out of the football club so much that has done nothing but give everything for this football club his entire life. You know, what I would say is, and look, match-going fans are no better than international fans or any other fans for that matter. But there is a very, very different feeling amongst the matchgoers compared to the online fan base. There's a very, very different feeling in my opinion, a very, very different feeling. I mean, this may well be. I never said match-going fans know everything. You know, if you just listened to what I said for a moment, like the feeling amongst, and yes, big up to Lewis, by the way, as always, bro. Lewis would agree as well. Like the feeling there'll be people that go to games, match-going fans that aren't the same as you know, that don't particularly rate Conor Gallagher, but the feeling amongst the match-going fans is very different to what you get from from what you read online, from what you see from in the social media ones. Bro, I'm not saying match-going fans' opinions hold more value. I've never said that. All Chelsea fans' opinions are equally valid, and just because you go to matches, it doesn't make you any better than anyone else. I'm just saying the feeling that you get at the matches and in the stadium is that Conor Gallagher is a very popular member of the Chelsea squad, and the fans really like him. I'm not trying to separate any fans. People that think that are massively missing the point. I didn't say that. I didn't say match-going fans. I never said match-going fans are better than international fans or fans that don't go to games. I've never said that match-going fans are any better than any other form of fan. My point is that amongst the majority of the match-going fans, the feeling around Conor Gallagher is very different to the stuff that you read online. You know, that's my only point here. You know, I'm not separating any fans whatsoever. And I've said a number of times there are a lot of fans that go to games that don't think Conor Gallagher should be at Chelsea, and that is fine. But let's not. I don't understand why people make it so personal with players. If you don't think someone's good enough, that's absolutely fine. No problem at all. But don't make it personal and don't start actively hating on players that are given absolutely everything for this football club for their entire life, like Conor Gallagher has. That's my thing. I'm not at all. Yeah, of course, and I've said that the match-going fans is not the only opinion that matters, you know. And there's going to be differences of opinion amongst match-going fans. There's going to be difference of opinions amongst non-match-going fans, you know. Of course there is. I'm just saying that in my experience from going to games, the feeling around Conor Gallagher is very different in the ground to what you read online and whatnot. That's my only point. You know, I've got time for every single Chelsea fan. I don't look down on Chelsea fans who have got different opinions to me whatsoever. You know, we all want the same thing. We all want Chelsea to do well at the end of the day. And if we have differences of opinion, that's cool. That's fine. I'm never gonna look down on someone for having a different opinion. Yeah, you know, if someone thinks differently to me, that's fine. And we might even have disagreements about stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all love. I don't hold any grudges against anyone whatsoever. Because, you know, whether you think Gallagher's good enough, whether you think he should leave, whatever it is, or whatever other thing it might be, like we all want Chelsea to do well. That's the one thing that we all share and we all have in common is that we all want them to do well. Mate, I'm not giving opinions for people I don't know. I'm absolutely not doing that. I'm fortunate enough to go to most games for Chelsea, which I'm very privileged to be able to do. And from people I speak to, from the feeling that I get in the ground, there is the feeling around Conor Gallagher is very different to what you read online. That's not giving opinions of people that I don't know. That is a fact. And you can ask anyone that goes to matches. Aside Athletic Bilbao, no team on the top has more than 3 youth players in their team. I don't know. The same thing happened to Mason Mount. The same is happening to Conor and Big Trev. This is our club now. It looks like it is our club right now. If Gallagher had not played, he would not have been in an FA Cup semi-final versus Man City. Did we bid for Bayer? No, we haven't bid for Max Bayer. The exciting forward and Mech. Yeah, there's conversations with Gabriel Mech, but there's not. No, look, no, but bro, do you understand why he's not signed that deal though? Like what? Because why would you sign the deal of a 2+1, knowing that you're not actually wanted by the football club, and all they're doing is that they've offered you that so basically they can buy some more time to sell him. You know, let's not fall for this. You know, Chelsea don't ever offer 2+1 deals to anyone. But it's not about do you want to be here or not. It's like Gallagher wants to stay at the football club. I don't have any doubts about that. But you know that. But would you expect him, if he was offered a 1-year deal, would you expect him to sign a 1-year contract? But you know, but he should sign it because he wants to be here. So in that sense, because he wants to be here, he should be signing any contract, regardless of the length or regardless of what's in it, regardless of playing time or whatever. Bro, I just don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that, brother. But you know, it's. People see it in different ways, but I don't blame him for wanting to stay at Chelsea. I don't blame him for, you know, I wouldn't blame any player for wanting to run their contract down. Yes, you know, I can understand how people would think it looks disrespectful to the football club. You know, if you love the football club, you know, you wouldn't do that or whatever. I understand that. I do get that point of view. You know, look, do I want to see him leave on a free? No, I don't want to see him leave on a free because I think it's really shit when players run their contracts down. However, could I understand him wanting to run his contract down and leave on a free? Yes, because when he's on a free, he's going to have No, I get both points of view. I understand the club offering him the contract to protect his value and to buy themselves more time. I get that. But my issue is just be honest about it. Say you're offering that contract to protect his value. You know, I understand both sides. I get both sides of it. But you know, for people to have a go at Gallagher for not signing a deal that Chelsea, when they offered it, knew he would never sign is just mad. They offered him that contract to, 1, buy themselves some more time to sell him, and 2, they offered that so they could use that to try and turn fans against Gallagher, saying, look, we offered him a deal, we tried to get him to stay, but he didn't want to sign it, so it's on him rather than us looking bad. If you understand his stance, you must get Chelsea, so how can you complain about what... Look, I don't agree with what Chelsea are doing. I don't agree with what Chelsea did with what they're doing with Chalobah. I don't agree with what they're doing with Gallagher. You know, I don't agree with what they did with Mason Mount. You know, regardless of whether these players leaving, makes any difference or not in the end is not the point here. My point is that I don't agree with how Chelsea are treating long-serving members of playing staff or long-serving members of staff just in general. That's my point. There's a way of conducting yourselves, and I think the way that Chelsea is seemingly operating is lacking class at the end of the day. That's just my opinion on it. People will see things differently, and I'm cool with that. But I just think that right now, the way Chelsea are moving with certain things it's a, and look, and again, my point is on this is not, look, I understand that top level sport is ruthless, but there is a way that you treat people, because it will come back to bite you in the arse. It really will. Whether you want Chalobah and Gallagher gone or not, you can believe whatever PR you want. That's entirely up to you, and Chelsea, I'm sure, will feed people with what they need to hear regardless. Look, if both players end up leaving, so be it. Would I agree with it? No, I wouldn't. But it's not about that. It's about how Chelsea constantly try to PR everything into trying to make it seem like they've wanted to keep both players, when the reality is they've been wanting to sell them for years. That's my biggest issue with it, right? Is that if you want to sell these guys, which we know you do, and it's going to be an unpopular decision with large amounts of the fan base because they've given everything to the club and they've come through the ranks and whatnot. That's going to be an unpopular decision. Make your decision and own your decision. Don't then put out briefs to try and make it like you're doing everything you can for these guys to stay here and turn more fans against them. That's literally my biggest issue with it. For what it's worth, I think both Chalobah and Gallagher should remain at the football club. But what does my opinion count for at the end of the day? But again, let's hold fire. Let's hold fire on this and see what happens. Maybe Gallagher might do a U-turn and he might sign. But what I'm saying is, brother, like, sure, they said it as 3 contracts. They offered the same contract twice. It wasn't like it was a new contract offer. They offered. I don't know what the deal was in at the back end of 2022. But the contract offer in June and July, those weren't new. That wasn't a new contract offer. They offered the new contract in June. Fine. They then offered this very same contract in the next month. And this is a fair point as well. And this is a fair point. Why did they allow it to go to the last year? They could have resolved this sooner. They could have absolutely resolved this sooner. So why didn't they? Why didn't they offer? Guys, let's get this over 100 likes. What are we on? 145 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in as always. Love for the support, people. Even if you disagree with the opinions, it's all love at the end of the day. Guys, we're only on 83 likes. Please keep smashing that like button. We're also 34 subscribers away from 10.8k. Let's try and knock a few more of these subscribers off, guys. So please hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. I would greatly appreciate it. Run it up, guys. And keep smashing that like button. It's always love at the end of it. This is what people don't realize, right? People have got differences of opinion. Doesn't mean that we dislike each other. Doesn't mean we hate each other. It's mad. Lewis thinks differently about a lot of things at Chelsea to me. Does that mean that we hate each other? Does that mean that we're going to fall out about shit? No, it doesn't. It's just a difference of view. At the end of the day, we all want to go to Chelsea and we all want to see them win. We don't want any more of them trips up and down the country when we just leave coming home depressed as fuck because we've been shit. But yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But it's mad. It is mad. Like I just don't agree with it. I just don't agree with it on a human level at the end of the day. That's my thing. Just on a human level, nothing more, nothing less. Just a human level, it's not right to do. Let me put it this way to you, right? Imagine you've at your place of work, yeah. You've imagine at your place of work, you've been there, you know, say you've been there 10, 15 years at your place of work, right? And you've given absolutely everything to your place of work. You've been a model employee and whatnot. You never moaned about anything. And then, you know, you say that, and then suddenly they come to you and like, we want you to leave. And then we're gonna cut you out of everything and whatnot. We're not going to treat you well, and all that sort of thing. And I've slightly butchered that analogy there. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. But I'll get to the chat in a sec, people. I'll get to the chat in a sec. Guys, 4 more likes, by the way, until we are 4 more likes until we're at the 100 mark. So please do keep doing that, people. I would really, really appreciate it. So yeah, let's have a quick look here. Chelsea always wanted to sell him. Gallagher, on the other hand, believes he can force his way into the team. How much do you want such situation to be resolved? I mean, at the end of the day, Gallagher's under contract. So if he thinks he can force his way into the team, then, you know, he's got his right to try and do that. And whilst he's under contract, he's got every right to stay at the football club if he wishes to do so. Now, Chelsea, of course, can, you know, make things difficult for him and not treat him very well. I absolutely get that. Seeing Chelsea fans that want him to leave on a free, just agendas against the owners. Yeah, look, I'll be real. Like, part of me would like. I did say yesterday, you know, part of me would like it as a bit of a joke for him to leave on a free. So it's a bit of a fuck you for the ownership for how they've treated him in this situation. But ultimately, you know, no one really wins from this situation, because Gallagher, who wants to stay at his boyhood club, is kind of forced out, and then Chelsea are not going to look good because of how they're treating the player. So no one really wins from this situation, and all this for 33 million quid that we can go and spend on a couple more teenagers. That's mad, bro. That's mad, for sure. You know. And again, this is being confirmed by further sources here. Let's get on to this. I will get to this super chat, Facey, in a sec. Further sources confirming that Conor Gallagher had a meeting at Cobham today where he was told he was being fucked off, basically. Obviously, I don't think they said it. Where is it? Let me just find this now. Where is it? Tom Barkley. Who's Tom Barkley? Oh, he writes for The Sun. Let's take that with a... Well, actually, no, let's not shit on that, because it could be valid information. Let's have a look. I'm told Conor Gallagher has been banished from Chelsea first team. He was in a meeting at Cobham today, said he'd be open to signing a new long-term deal, but he's been told when he reports to training on Monday, he's not permitted to the first team building and won't train with the first team. That's mad. And it even got Fulham fans under here. This is nuts. They're ripping the core out of their team and they don't care. Bro, it's hard to argue with that. It's hard to argue with that. We are ripping the core out of this football club. We are ripping the core out of this football club. This is brazy. This is brazy from us. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Let me get to this super chat from Facey. Not going to. Conor is clearly trying to run his contract and leave for free. He has turned down too many transfers. He's not turned down too many transfers. He didn't want to go to Aston Villa, and he's deciding whether he's going to go to Atletico Madrid or not. He's not turned down loads of transfers. That simply isn't true. Guys, keep smashing the like button. We're at 171 in the building. We're only on 100 likes. That's poor conversion rate. This should be on at least 150. So please keep subscribing, guys. And please keep smashing the likes and please keep subscribing. I would really appreciate it. We're 30 away from 10.8. That could be doable today. That could be doable. So please, if you would be kind enough to do so, hit that subscribe button for all your latest Chelsea news, all the good stuff. Please do subscribe, guys. There'll be a few of you that aren't subscribed, so we could get this up to close to 10.8k. That would be really appreciated. But love to face E007 for the super chat, brother. It's really appreciated. So please do, guys, if you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, please use the super chat function. But love for the donation as always. What else? Guys, I can't read all these comments. I'm just going to go to the bottom. No, I'm not. This is about decency. This is not about how good the player is. This is about decency as a football club. This is about decency, and this is not how you treat. This is not how you treat players that have given everything for the football club. You know, it's not what you do. It's not what you do. What else? Let's have a look. What's being said here? You know, these situations are totally different to Rudiger and Christensen. But the fact that, you know, think how bad that is, right? It's going to turn up on Monday morning to training, and he can't even go in the first team building. That's just dog shit. It's just utter dog shit from Chelsea. It's really, really shit. Really shit. But that's your opinion. You know, he's not past his sell-by date. He can contribute. You know, he can definitely contribute to this Chelsea squad. You know, to say that he's not able to contribute is nonsense. Let's go back over the years, right, of players who have contributed to Chelsea in a squad capacity, right? You had players when Mourinho first come, 20 years ago. You had players like Yuri Yarasik, Alexei Smirtin, Jeremy, guys that made big contributions to league-winning teams that weren't exactly the best footballers on paper. You know, you need those kind of players. Man City won a fucking Premier League with Fabian Delph playing at left back, for fuck's sake. You know, you need these kind of players that might not be the best, but they know what it means to play for the football club, and they job for maybe 14, 15 games a season when you need him, you know. Well, at the end of the day, it's going to be on them, because they might not get the money they want from this. You know, they might end up getting nothing from him. Again, this is, yeah, Brian, get treated that way by your workplace employer, and then how would you feel about it? You know, would you just be like, oh, it's a job? You know, I've been at my job for 10 years or whatever, given my whole life to it. I've been a model employee, and now they're just fucking me off. You know, you'd be okay with that. You know, you wouldn't felt you'd been hard done by or treated badly. You just think, oh, it's just a job at the end of the day. Do you honestly think that's how people should be treated? Regardless of if it's Conor Gallagher or what it is. That's, bro, come on. That's not what we're doing. Are we seriously saying, are people seriously saying that this level of, that being treated like this is fair and the right thing to do? Is that what we're doing, guys? Is that really what we're doing? Gallagher needs to go, fair enough. Big up Facey again for the super chat. Oh yeah, he did turn down Everton. They did a 40. They did a 40+5. I mean, look, he's entitled to turn the move down. You know, if he doesn't think it's right for his career and he doesn't want to join, then that's fine. Wait and see how horrified Winstanley and Stewart are when they play Real Madrid. Yeah, possibly. Quite possibly he could be. There's every chance that he could be. You know, every chance that he could be trying to run his contract down. And I wouldn't blame him for that. I absolutely wouldn't blame him for that. Guys, 30 subscribers away from 10.8. Let's keep pushing, people. Let's keep pushing. And let's keep smashing these likes up as well. 155 in the building still. Only 107 on the likes, though. This should at least be on 150 likes, guys. So please keep smashing that like button, guys. It really helps with the channel. It gets more eyes on the channel. It boosts. The more liked something is, the more boosted it is in the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, people, make sure you help me out and you do that. It's free and it takes seconds to do. So yeah, there's no excuses not to, guys. There's no excuses not to. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So please make sure you are subscribing and liking. It's genuinely FIFA merchants looking at potential at taking face value. Yeah, look, I think they were pretty. I think they were different though. Like I don't know what the situation is here, but yeah. I wouldn't agree on that. I think KDH is underrated. I think he's a good footballer. I really do. But yeah, anyway. But you do realise that Simeone plays possession-based football as well, by the way. Just to let you know. Look, he could contribute, Gallagher. You know, he scores a few goals. He works hard. He presses from the front. He could play in one of those number 8 positions, no problem. Guys, there's so much coming in. Yeah, I can't read all this, people. Let me get this super chat. Because some of the people, big up to Top Dog, by the way. Some of the people in the chat not get it, that the club wanting him to leave is the problem. Typical good little consumer mentality. Fair enough. I've got so much coming in, guys. I can't read all these. This just makes me feel bad for booing Money Macy. Probs have the same treatment as Conor. Yeah, and this is what people might start to realize now. Is that, you know, with this happening again, maybe Mason Mount wasn't the bad guy after all. Maybe the club treated him like shit, like they're doing with Conor Gallagher. Maybe that is the case. You know, maybe that's the case. Playing which number 8 position? I never said I'd like him to do it. I literally said that in a jokey sort of way. Part of me would like him to do it in terms of the way that he's being treated. Just give 2 fingers to the owners and I'm going on a free. Fuck your pure profit. I don't actually want him to run his contracts down because I just don't think that suits either party well whatsoever. That's all. It depends on the circumstances, though. It depends on the circumstances, but generally, I would agree with you. It's never nice to see players leaving on a free. Generally, I would agree with you on that. You know, I don't think it's great. Oh, there's more. There's more, guys. There's more. It's all kicking off this Friday afternoon, isn't it? It's all kicking off. let's get to this. Ben Jacobs, big up to Ben Jacobs as always. Let's have a quick look, guys. Right. Ben Jacobs adding a bit more meat to the bones on this. I suspect it's probably what's already been said. Chelsea will hold talks with Conor Gallagher to try and resolve his future today. They don't want any bad blood, recognising his status at the club, but he's turned down 3 contract offers. 2+1 offer is still on the table. Atletico want an answer by Monday. So they're going to hold further talks today. I'm a little bit uneasy with it being reported in a way of 3 contract offers because, okay, technically yes, but I don't know what the offer was in 2022. But the June and July offer, offered them a 2+1 in June, and then the offer in July was the same offer. Was exactly the same contract, just re-offered. They just asked him if he wanted to sign it again. Is that really offering a new contract when you just literally present the same fucking offer on the table that was already on the table? Is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're doing here? 3 contracts. It's probably at best it's 2 because he's rejected the same contracts twice. So yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, you can put it down as 3 contracts if you like, but this is the most predictable thing going, what's happening right now. The most predictable thing imaginable. You know, it's really not hard to understand, is it? But I suspect, I'll be honest, guys, I think right now I feel I feel that there's more. This is almost like another brief coming out. Carve Solocol as well. Chelsea will hold talks with Gallagher today aimed at resolving his future. Don't want bad blood. Recognise he's an academy graduate. And he's turned down 3 contract offers and they need to understand what he wants to do. Their contract offer has not been withdrawn. It's still on the table. He should be on about, I'd say around 100, 120, I think is fair. You know, he's on 50k at the moment. You know, I think around 100, 120 grand is fair. Well, yeah, it would certainly seem that way, wouldn't it? It would certainly seem that way. Even if we sell Conor, we all know they'll just invest the money to buy more children. This is the thing, right? You know, I'd have less of an issue with it if this money was going towards funding a Victor Osimhen or going towards getting us someone that is actually going to make a difference. But we all know full well this money is literally just going to be used to go and sign a couple of 16 or 17-year-olds. That's what we know this money is going to be used for at the end of the day. Yeah, funnily enough, because he wasn't treated like shit by the football club. That's why he wasn't treated like shit by the football club. That's why, you know, if this had just been handled normally, you know, then fine. But the fact he's been treated like shit by the football club is why this is happening. It's not about the money. This is what people are not getting. It's not about the money he's been offered. It's about the length of the contract. You know, why would you sign a 2+1? Why? But they literally give a 7-year contract to every single player. I'm not saying it should be 7, maybe a 4 or 5, or whatever. But you know, they give 7-year contracts to every person that walks through the fucking building, knowing full well that most of them are going to be squad players and won't even kick a ball for us. No, it's 8-year contracts for everyone. Unless you're pure profit, then you can sign a 2+1, and then you have to prove yourself that you maybe deserve a longer one. But everyone else, come on in. 7-year deals. Doesn't matter how shit you are. Doesn't matter that you're probably going to not play for this football club ever. Come on through on a 7-yearer. It's yeah, it's quite frankly embarrassing in my view. Quite frankly, embarrassing. Guys, I reckon we can get to 10,780 subs today. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. And we are on, what are we on? 122 likes. Let's get 150 likes. Come on, people. Run it up, and let's keep subscribing. I think we can get to 10,780. That's 7 more subscribers. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why is it unbelievable? Is it okay to treat players like shit? Would you be okay if Reece James was being treated like this? Would you be okay if Cole Palmer was treated like this? Would you be okay if an Enzo Fernandez was being treated like this? Why is it okay because it's Gallagher and you don't particularly rate him? Therefore, it's all right. It doesn't make sense. Because because Chelsea are offering that contract, not because they want him, but because they're protecting his value. That's what they're doing. They're not offering him a new contract because they want him to stay. They're offering a new deal because they're worried he's going to leave on a free. What else have we got? Guys, there's so much stuff coming in here. Big up to Top Dog again for another super chat. These owners want to have their cake and eat it too. You can't have the zero culture / sentimentality and F all trophies to justify it. Yeah, I hear you, bro. Long-term contracts present the value of the investment. When a player is from the academy, you don't have the same concern because it's all profit. Yeah, no, that does make sense. Sure, I understand that, but it's still pretty poor in my view. You know, it's still poor in my view. I don't agree. Hull's on the long-term contract, then they immediately sold him. They got Trev trapped to a long-term contract and I likely lock him out the first team too. Exactly. You know, Lewis Hall signed a 7-year contract and then the next week he was sold to Newcastle and it was briefed like he wanted out of the football club, which is just utter bollocks. But it's wrong regardless. It's wrong regardless. And Sarr didn't particularly contribute to the first team. But I don't care what the player, who the player is. It is wrong to freeze them out. That's unacceptable. You know, it was wrong for Man United to freeze out Jadon Sancho like that. You know, it's been wrong in every way. In my opinion, you know, it's just not how you treat people. You know, it's not how we should be operating as a football club. It's simple. I mean, I've just seen this on Twitter. I mean, the briefings are crazy. Do you think the text includes, can you please say we don't want any bad blood? There's literally, I've seen 2 journalists that have tweeted out the news about Chelsea holding talks with Gallagher on his future today. And they've both said the words bad blood. I mean, these are crazy. These are crazy. Honestly, mad. Honestly, mad. It's funny that, isn't it? Don't want bad blood, guys. When you're putting this information out, make sure you use the words bad blood in there. You know, to make it seem like it's you know, everything's, you know, we're trying our best to keep the situation civil. Classic, absolutely classic. Yeah, no, you're right. I should just lap it all up. I mean, in fairness, I probably will buy a shirt, but like, of course I will. But yeah, no, I hear you, bro. Yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way. I mean, the Caicedo Gallagher pivot was actually really decent last season. I thought it was all. I thought it was pretty good. I'll be honest. I thought it was all right. Quite a lot of contradictions going on around the Chelsea fan base. Always are. I'm not wanting mediocrity at the club. Gallagher can play a squad, can be a squad player. You need squad players, and no one's embracing mediocrity. I'm not sitting here saying that he should be starting ahead of Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, etc. I'm saying that he deserves. He's good enough to be a squad player, and the way that he's being treated, along with Chalobah and many others in the past, is dog shit. Yeah, exactly this. Exactly this. You know, people will start realizing when this keeps happening, and then Gallagher won't be the last one. It'll be someone else within the next 12 to 18 months that this exact same thing's happened to. JT said it. They shouldn't be too hard on Mason. They're two sides of the story. You know, whether we're ever going to get Mount's side of the story, I've got absolutely no idea. I don't know JT, funnily enough, to be able to speak to him and ask him about what happened with Mason. But yeah, people will soon start realizing that the club are the wankers in this situation, not the players. Since when do we want? No Gallagher's. I don't believe that Gallagher is holding the club to ransom. You know, he's not. I don't think he. I don't think he is holding the club to ransom. You know, he's well within his rights to stay at the football club if he's under contract. You know, it's that simple. Not got so much coming in. I mean, bro, you say that, but let's not joke because you honestly do never know in in uh in these situations. You honestly never know. Guys, keep running the likes up though. Agree, disagree. It's all love at the end of the day. We all want the football club to do well. So please keep smashing that like button. It's free and it takes seconds. Free and it takes seconds. But yeah, yesterday it's funny, isn't it? Yesterday it was 2 contract offers rejected. Now it's 3. What is going on with this? What on earth is going on with this? It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. I don't know what to say, guys. 131 likes. Let's get this up to 150 likes. We're almost there. It's free. It takes seconds to do, and I would massively appreciate it. So make sure you are running these likes up, guys. Run them up, run them up. Let's get this to 150, and let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. We need to get there, guys. We can definitely do this, people. We can definitely do this. And we can definitely get a few more subscribers as well. Let's try and get 6 more subscribers, guys. I would really appreciate it. What are we doing here? 145 in the building, 132 likes. Yeah, I agree, brother. It's not helpful having all this play out in public when we should be focusing on the season ahead. I mean, I'm not sure if it's really causing much of a distraction in terms of the preparations in America and whatnot. But yeah. God, guys, there's so much coming in. I can't read all this. But yeah, that's basically where we're at the moment. You know, we're gonna see what happens, guys. We are gonna see what happens. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. This bad blood thing is actually incredible. Actually incredible. You know, it is mad. It is mad. It's honestly this football club. Seriously, every brief now, everything that's going out, bad blood by Nizar, bad blood Ben Jacobs, bad blood Carve Solokol. You know, this is not me hating on, shitting on these guys, by the way. They're just putting out information that the club's giving them. It's just classic that everyone is using bad blood. It's standard. It's honestly classic. Yeah, honestly, what a time to be alive, guys. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Um, yeah, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, the bad blood is everywhere. You know, they're you know, classic. Um, Nah, sorry, I was responding to a couple of messages. That's what I was doing. Um, I do support the club. I love this football club, but I'm not just going to blindly sit and applaud every single thing they do. Um, you know, I'm absolutely not. Bro, I'm not made of money, brother. Maybe later on in the season. Maybe later on in the season. But yeah, certainly not right now. No, it's not plagiarism. It's social media. They're being told to probably use the words "bad blood." Uh, I would imagine. You know, that's what I'm saying. I would imagine that that's what they're being told. That's what they're being. Those are the words they're being told to use. Um, yeah, honestly unbelievable. Honestly unbelievable, guys. Five more likes. Five more likes. Big up again, brother. These owners have no idea what they're doing. They're supposedly building a 100-point team. It's like me trying to build the bookcase I built from IKEA. Yeah, brother, I hear you. Like, supposedly we're building a 100-point team, guys, but quite where those 100 points are coming from, I don't know. There's probably more chance of us conceding 100 goals than there are of us getting 100 points. Let's just be totally real for a moment. Nah, bro, look, it's not because he's English. Yeah, sure, there's going to be a bit more of an outrage towards it because he is one of Chelsea's own. He's come through the academy. I absolutely get that. But if Gallagher was French or whatever, and he was in the exact same situation and he performed how he did last season, I think the discourse would be similar. The discourse would be similar, in my honest opinion. No, they're not paid. They're not paid by the club, but they're told. They obviously are told information, and they're probably told to put it out in a certain way. You know, three guys wouldn't use the. You know, it's briefs left, right, and centre. The same wording on every tweet, sent out at exactly the same times, and completely contradictory words compared to the actions. Just get this fucking situation over with. I'm sick and tired of these constant briefings and whatnot. Let's just get this over and done with. You know, same wording, same timing. You know, Lewis is not paid by the club. Lewis is not played by the club. I mean, I don't think it's not impossible. I mean, it's not obviously not ideal, but it's not impossible that he leaves on bro, if I could afford a Ferrari, I'd be getting myself one first. I would be getting myself one first. But yeah, let's hide that off. I think there's a bit more news coming out as well. But yeah, just get this Gallagher stuff done, man. Get it done. Where's this other bit? Yeah, again, saying that Chelsea won't allow Gallagher to leave on a free next year. So this basically ends in. Yeah, and people saying, oh, he's refused to leave on 3 separate occasions. He's turned down these contracts, and then people say, oh, it's all right now. The club are forcing him out because he didn't understand it in a nice way. People are failing to realise he doesn't have to leave. That's why he's got a contract. In the same way, a contract means you don't have to sell one of your top players if they want to leave, because they're under contract. The same thing works both way around. There's a lot of people have got selective memory on these things. A lot of people have got selective memory. I don't know why on StreamYard shit's not coming through. Comments appear to have stopped coming through on StreamYard. Let me see if I can bring this up. Why have comments are coming through there? Why have they stopped coming through on StreamYard? I wonder what's happened there. Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. But guys, can someone type something in the chat quickly? I don't know why. Oh, there we go. We're back in business. They've appeared. They've appeared. Yes, big up to Aaron for the super chat donation. Very kind of you, brother. Conor played 8, 6, and 10 last season. Also left me in one game, got an assist that game. He can adapt to the Maresca system. Even Enzo struggled at a 10 last season. Yeah, look, I hear you, and I absolutely agree. I don't believe that there's. I don't believe that Conor Gallagher can't adapt to an Enzo Maresca style of football. I don't believe that for one instant that he can't do that. I absolutely believe that he can do that. I absolutely believe he is capable of adapting to that system. It's just an easy cop out for them saying they want him to leave. Oh, he doesn't fit the system. That's just easy for them to say that, and they just put it out there. Oh yeah, he doesn't want to go. But yeah, love for the donation, brother. It's greatly appreciated, and I agree with what you're saying. I don't know if he won't. I don't know if he won't play. It depends at the end of the day. Does he want the Atletico move, or we've got no idea here. There could be multiple teams contacting him saying, wait it out for a year and we'll sign you on a free. Get a signing on fee, bigger wages and whatnot. We don't know for certain what people are saying to Conor Gallagher. There could be clubs in contact with him and his camp, suggesting that, yeah, we could be, if you stay for a free, and then we'll sign you next summer. You can sign that pre-contract agreement in January, and then you can arrive in the summer. It just depends whether a move is better suited to him. That is he prepared to basically sit on the sidelines for a season in order to get a move that he prefers, rather than perhaps taking Atletico Madrid, which he might not be entirely convinced on. That would be my point. Yeah, I do remember that. But yeah, this is where we're at right now, guys. We're gonna get a solution to this. We are gonna get a solution with this. Um, people can't say, by the way, that you'll moan if they let him go for free. I won't moan if they let him go for free because they've been actively trying to sell him. I will not moan if they let him go for free. Uh, simple as that. I absolutely won't moan if he goes for free because they've been actively trying to sell him. That's my point here. And ultimately, I think to kind of sum this up, guys, Chelsea don't hold any power over Gallagher's future. If he refuses to move, he can run down his contract and leave for free. No problem whatsoever. It's as simple as that, guys. Chelsea got no power in this. Everything else from the club, forcing him out the first team building, making him train on his own or whatever it might be, freezing him out of first team training. Those are just forceful tactics from the club to try and get him to leave. But Chelsea got no power in this situation, whatsoever. I'm not a Gallagher fan club member. I like him. I think he should stay at the club, and I think there's a role for him in the squad. My main point is more about the way that Chelsea are treating players and the decency. I don't know if he is. I'm not sure if he is, to be perfectly honest. I really don't believe he is. But yeah, there we go. I mean, I think that is pretty much everything on the Gallagher situation right now. I don't really think there's too much more to add. There's been an awful lot of news on this. But to round out, I just think that the briefings have probably made the situation worse. We should have tried to sort this behind closed doors. And now more clubs are going to know that he's available, likely for cheaper, because there's no going back from this now. And ultimately, Chelsea are going to lose out because there's going to be less profit to be made. That's the reality. That is the reality right now. And this here, by the way, this here from Matisse just sums up what people need to realize. People need to remember that what a contract is. Top player wants to leave and you refuse to sell, well within your rights. They're under contract. Squad player you want to sell, but they don't want to leave, well within their rights to stay. They're under contract. Nobody on either side should become unprofessional in both cases. Reference everything back to the real world if you're confused. And that sums it up perfectly. Too many people are not realizing what a fucking contract is. In the same way, you can refuse to sell a top player that wants out if they're under contract. A squad player that you want to sell can refuse to leave if they're under contract. This is very, very simple, yet far too many people are completely missing this point. They don't get it whatsoever. But guys, I am going to round this one out here. I'd like to say I won't be back later on, but depending on how I feel like we could maybe get some further news on this Gallagher stuff later on tonight. Let's wait and see what does happen. But guys, love for all of the support. Big up to every single one of you who has tuned in. It's greatly appreciated. Let's wait and see what the rest of the day's got in store for us. I should be back tomorrow. Hopefully, either with an upload or a live. I will let you know. We're playing Man City tomorrow, guys, in the pre-season. But yeah, guys, mad. Hour and 35 minutes talking about Conor Gallagher. Fair enough. This football club. But guys, thank you so much for all the support. It's greatly appreciated. Love to each and every single one of you. Even if we have differences of opinion, it's all love at the end of the day. We all want Chelsea to do well. So yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Catch you lot tomorrow. Smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe if you're new around here. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.